soft, shiny, and precious pearls, are often made from dull shells. These threaded freshwater pearls, are they truly worth the price or just a fool's tax? To understand, we need to trace their origins. In a hatchery with 300 ponds, there isn't a single dead mussel or fish in the greenhouse. Yet many of the surviving yellow catfish, could they be food for the mussels? Of course not. Es fischt die. What's lost along with them are the painstakingly cultivated mussel larvae, two species that seem completely unrelated. How did they end up depending on each other for survival? It all comes down to the unique reproductive mode of mussels. An arrogant female mussel opens her large mouth wide, and when a curious little fish comes close, she strikes like lightning and clamps down hard. Next, she smears the fish with a milky substance. If the fish can still move, it means the parents are satisfied with their nanny. For other fish, however, what gets sprayed might not be eggs, but a gruesome mix of head fragments and red liquid. In a way, this process eliminates some competitors for the nanny, allowing her to care for their offspring in peace. Every summer, adult male mussels in upstream rivers release their essence. Meanwhile, mature female mussels downstream, while feeding on plankton, also receive these packages sent by the males. The foreign cells and eggs form fertilized eggs inside the female mussels' bodies, silently developing, eventually becoming larvae. But mussels born incapable of nurturing young must find a suitable nanny when the larvae mature. To achieve this, they go to great lengths, offering tender flesh to lure fish, and finding ways to make the larvae attach to the fish's gills. Mussels are an ancient species older than dinosaurs, and it's this astonishing reproduction technique that has allowed them to spread across the globe. It's a kind of interdependence. Without fish as a medium, the larvae cannot transform, and no new mussels can emerge. In hatcheries, mass fish deaths mean the larvae cannot survive either. It must be said, these fish suffer for the sake of the mussels. Instead of reproducing in summer as they naturally would, the mussels are placed into wedding chambers as early as spring, so their larvae can reach the market sooner and fetch higher prices. But this is a gamble. The fickle weather of early spring, neither fully warm nor cold, is no easy environment to navigate. In small-scale hatcheries, they rely heavily on nature's favor. Male and female mussels, separated and placed into the water, are induced by water temperature to release their reproductive material. Even though the eggs in female mussels may only partially mature at this stage, it doesn't hinder reproduction. The mature eggs automatically fuse with the released material. All of this is done to increase the larvae's parasitic success rate. At the larval stage, farmers take skewers to extract the larvae from the mother mussels and place them into fish nests. The larvae, resembling tiny carnivorous flowers, cling to the gills of the fish as they breathe. Once attached, they latch on tightly, remaining there for 2 to 3 weeks until they transform into juvenile mussels and detach, ready to begin their solitary lives. During this time, the larvae voraciously absorb nutrients from the fish, growing rapidly. Fortunately, their small size limits the harm they cause. If the fish are lucky, they can survive this process and make it to market. But here the fate of the fish is sealed. A few spells of late spring cold caused water temperatures to plummet, triggering water mold disease in the fish, spreading like flowers blooming on their bodies. This disease is fatal to the fish, and also impacts the larvae clinging to their gills. The optimal temperature for mussel development is 25 degrees Celsius, and an accumulated water temperature of 180 degrees Celsius is required for the larvae to mature into juvenile mussels. While unpredictable weather has minimal impact on the mussels, it greatly troubles the fish. Advanced hatcheries install heating equipment to maintain the water temperature and prevent fish diseases. In addition, greenhouse tanks must remain shaded to avoid algae growth that could entangle the mussels. Once the juvenile mussels detach, farmers collect them and place them in a nursery pond, feeding them cultivated algae. As they grow larger, they are transferred to outdoor fish ponds. For pearl mussels, childhood is a happy time. Dirty water is filtered for them. Delicious algae are plentiful, and since they can't move much on their own, they don't concern themselves with freedom. A mussel's movement relies on a protruding foot. If they miss the chance to hitch a ride on floodwaters, they might spend their entire lives moving only a few meters. Wild mussels rely entirely on luck to survive. During hard times, they might go days without a bite of algae. In hatcheries, their treatment is luxurious. If not for the events that follow, they could live their lives without a single complaint. For about a year and a half, the mussels live carefree lives. Then one day, as they're busily feeding and growing, they are all pulled ashore, their bodies thoroughly cleaned of grime. The unlucky ones are sacrificed prematurely for the pearl industry. They are forcibly opened, and epithelial tissue from their outer mantle is scraped off. This tender tissue is sliced into small pieces by skilled workers. Next, another group of workers takes over, implanting the tissue into other muscles. Using a device to pry open a muscle slightly, they insert a large pearl bead or nucleus, fixing it securely within the mantle. A bead is inserted into the muscle's flesh, and these perfectly round nuclei, crafted from polished muscle shells, are composed of calcium carbonate, the same material as pearls. Along with the bead, small pieces of cells scraped from other muscles are also implanted. The skill of the workers in performing this process directly affects the quality of the pearls. If this craft existed in ancient times, it would have been a lucrative skill. The implanted cell fragments decompose inside the muscle, triggering a rejection response. To survive, the muscle forms a pearl sac and secretes nacre, layer by layer, encasing the foreign object. Over time, this process creates a pearl. The stacked structure, resembling building blocks, is what you see when a pearl is cut open, a testament to the muscle's relentless battle against pain. Implantation is extremely harmful to muscles, and extracting pearls requires the muscle to stay alive. Workers exercise caution, implanting only 1 or 2 large beads, depending on the muscle's size. However, muscles used for producing non-nucleated pearls are treated far less delicately. These muscles, riddled with wounds, are implanted with 10 to 20 small cell fragments. Since these fragments are smaller, the damage is less severe. Without molds, it is nearly impossible for muscles to produce high-quality pearls, so quantity becomes the focus. Natural pearl formation starts from a rare accident, and even with implanted nuclei, the results are unpredictable. The saying, "a dragon has 9 sons each different," applies here too. Pearls from the same muscle vary widely in size and shape, and their quality differs even more dramatically. Gem-grade pearls are exceedingly rare, which is why even imperfect cultured pearls are highly valuable. After the surgical procedure, the muscles are returned to ponds to recover. The positioning and orientation of the muscles are crucial. They must be placed head up, tail down, in the upper layers of the water. This way they can easily access sunlight and food, while gravity prevents them from spitting out the implanted nuclei. Special mesh cages act as an additional safeguard to ensure sufficient food. Large-scale farms pre-cultivate algae and deliver it directly to the muscles via pipelines. Smaller farms periodically add fertilizer to enrich the water. While this system feeds the muscles, it pollutes the water. Overgrown algae turn the pond into a murky mess, releasing a foul odor. High-density farming also stresses the muscles, and those unable to endure perish. If the muscles die from infectious diseases like muscle fever, the disease can spread to others in the same pond. The sugar-like substance released from the dead muscles spreads like the hand of death, wiping out nearly all other muscles it touches. Today, many farms replace chemical fertilizers with aquatic plants and lotus roots to manage the environment. But the practice of adding waste manure remains common, enhancing fish nutrition, improving water quality with lotus roots, and enduring 2 years of hardship. The mussels are finally freed from their torment. They are harvested and sent to pearl processing factories. Mussels have relatively long lifespans. If free from disease, they can live up to 10 years. However, the mussels here, on Y 3 to 4 years old, meet their end prematurely. Keeping them alive longer does not result in larger pearls. The best pearls form within 7 years, and rarely beyond that. The interior of the shell has limited space. Pearls don't grow to exaggerated sizes. Thus they are harvested at their most valuable stage. Workers split the mussels in half with knives, skillfully removing the meat. Another worker then extracts the pearls from the mussel meat. Opening a mussel to retrieve pearls is like unboxing a surprise package. You never know what's inside until it's open. As the only organic gemstone among the traditional 4 treasures, pearls differ from jade crystals and agates. Pearls cannot be carved. They appear as they are. If their soft luster is removed, they resemble rough shell material. Freshly harvested pearls are cleaned and sent to processing factories, where they are sorted by size and quality. High-quality large and round pearls are processed into necklaces, earrings, and other jewelry. Irregularly shaped or lusterless pearls are ground into pearl powder by machines. In recent years, inbreeding and genetic degradation have caused freshwater pearls to become smaller. Although over 90% of the world's pearls are produced domestically, their market value accounts for less than 5%. Despite being the pioneer of artificial pearl farming, the lack of scientific breeding and inheritance methods has resulted in high production but low value. Like high-quality jade, domestic farms have had to import mussel stock from abroad to cultivate new mussel species, capable of producing premium pearls. With improved genetic resources and advancements in farming techniques, many freshwater pearls are now visually indistinguishable from the more expensive saltwater pearls. To truly differentiate between them, one must send them to a testing center. Most freshwater pearls contain conchiolin, a component absent in saltwater pearls. Thank you for watching. See you next time.